I came to realize I did believe in God. I couldn't conceive of a universe without someone overseeing it in a compassionate way. I found it very easy to transform into creeps and weirdos and losers and goofballs, and I'm happy to play eccentric kinds of characters, and I have a great affinity for the outsider, but I definitely am about expanding my range as well. I think definitely people know me from playing creeps and weirdos, and I'm definitely looking to expand my range. Some of the most morally conscious, kindest, most compassionate people are in the entertainment industry, people who want to affect the world and make it a better place through telling human, heartfelt stories. Music is universal too. Even deaf people like to dance, love rhythm, and can kind of pick it up. My dad was always such a frustrated artist. He always worked very hard to support his family, doing a bunch of ridiculous jobs. He wanted to be a painter, but then he also wrote science fiction novels in his spare time. So much about religion has to do with rigid, sacrosanct preciousness. I don't live my life that way, and I don't feel that's what Baha'u'llah teaches. I think Dwight loves being number 2. I don't think he has any desire to be number 1. He wants to be number 2 no matter where he goes. It's like Avis. We try harder. That's Dwight. My body has been making women laugh for the last 20 years, and I'm happy to continue to oblige. There was one point in high school actually when I was on the chess team, marching band, Model United Nations, and debate club all at the same time. And I would spend time with the computer club after school. And I had just quit pottery club, which I was in junior high, but I let that go. I am all for controlling guns. Singing and dancing is not just for the cast of Glee. We can wake up doing both and have it be a natural expression of who we are. The great thing about The Office and it being single camera and the documentary style is that it's mostly a comedy, but 10% of it is. We get to show the existential angst that exists in the American workplace. I think God has a tremendous sense of humor. We've seen that there are a lot of people out there, teenagers in Topeka, housewives in Long Island, millionaire internet startup moguls that all want to connect with each other about what it is to be human. I think we're the only jokeless show on television. I mean, really, we have no setups and no punchlines. It's not a joke show. There are funny lines and funny moments, but again, the comedy is born of the human experience, and awkward pauses are a great part of what it is to be human. A guy may wear a suit and have a high-paying job and appear very mature, but essentially, he's a 14-year-old boy. One thing I really want to do is I spent 10 years in New York doing theater before I moved to LA to do TV and film. I'd really like to go to back New York and do some theater. Ralph Waldo Emerson would definitely be my homeboy. I really wanted to do something positive on the internet. I wanted to try to get young people talking about, thinking about life's big questions, make it cool and okay to wonder about the heart, the soul and free will and God and death and big topics like that, big human topics. Dwight is a sad clown. You've seen those paintings of sad clown. I've always been terrible on regular sitcoms with lots of jokes. I don't know how to tell jokes. Pretty much anybody who's ever worked can relate to our show. Scotland is the Canada of England. The great challenge working on this show for me is wearing polyester all day long and having the worst haircut known to man at the top of my head and sitting under fluorescent lights. That is America, people. Polyester, bad haircuts, under fluorescent lights. There's like 10 minutes when it's like, okay, wait, who is this guy again? And then, you know, I just put on the calculator watch and the glasses, and just be all, you know, inappropriate. And then it just works out fine. Well, Dwight was born to be too, and I don't think he would know what to do as a leader, but he loves following. He would have made a great fascist. What's interesting is the show allows for the awkward pauses to be captured, which makes it stylistically unique, especially for American audiences. I started in theater, and for me, it was all about transformation. You transform into the character that you're playing. I remember being unemployed and walking the East Village streets for many years, constantly checking my voicemail on pay phones, hoping for an audition. I joined an acting class in my junior year in high school. I'd always wanted to try it. Life is suffering. Life is not resistance to suffering. The point of life is to suffer. This is why we're here. We're here to suffer. I believe in a higher power that compassionately allows suffering for us as a race to grow and mature. Apparently, The Office plays in Brazil. Who would have thought that Brazilians would identify with a bunch of pasty white Scrantonians in a paper company? But the Brazilians I've met have really loved the show. Soul Pancake is a website that I founded with a couple of friends, and it is for exploring life's big questions. I have an 8-year-old child, and I literally can't wrap my mind around the kind of grief that must be felt when you lose a child. I like being a Baha'i who has an out-there sense of humor. God gives us talents and faculties, and making people laugh is one of mine. I don't want to sound pretentious, but I love art, I like to go to museums, and I like to read books. The bonds we create in the household are the most important and lasting. Savor them, they're sacred. In every decade rock and roll starts to get very serious and navel-gazing and kind of self-serious, and every once and a while it kind of needs a kick in the pants. My whole thing is I just always wanted to be a working actor, and I just wanted to stop waiting tables. Absolutely, father knows best. Always do what your fathers say. And if you can't find one, then just ask me. I am a father and I know best. My brain is so anxiety prone, like a pinball machine. If I don't get up in the morning and focus my thinking, my breathing, and my being for about 12 minutes, I'm just a screwball all day long. I think that charity is a tricky thing, because a lot of times, people equate charity with handouts. I don't believe in handouts. And I do believe that the way to change a society, to uplift people, not just their spirit, but to uplift their society and economic base, is through education. The founder of the Mona Foundation actually knew my dad for years, and the more I learned about it, the more I realized I really found the perfect charity. It sponsors schools and educational initiatives all over the planet. My dad wanted to name me after Rainer Maria Rilke, the poet. I was a total dork in high school. You meet people in Hollywood that are famous, and you're not sure what they got famous for. I'm lucky to have a wife and a child that keep me grounded. I know what I look like, a weird, sad clown puppet. I'm fine with that. Some of the biggest movie stars in the world are essentially characters. I would love to see some comedies about loser women. I'm about as big a star as the Baha'i faith has got, which is pretty pathetic. The Baha'i celebrity, or the celebrity, is a character actor with a big head playing an annoying creep on a TV show. I was this weird misfit guy from suburban Seattle. I never really fit in, and then I became a drama geek. Among all the other different kinds of geek that I was growing up, and I found I was pretty good at it. I had bohemian parents in Seattle in the last 60s living in a houseboat. My dad wrote science fiction novels and painted big murals and oil paintings. My mom was an actress in the local Seattle theater doing experimental plays. Well, mostly I just want to be an actor. I love being an actor, and I don't want to be a spokesman for anything. I don't want to do anything crazy or fancy like that.